Well, here we are on Kapua Farm Lots in Puna, outside of Mountain View, Hawaii. This is my friend Marvin here. I tend to refer to him as Marvin the Banana Guy, but I'm sure he has other names that he's known by.
Banana Nerd.
Banana Nerd, that is. And so, Marvin, just tell us a little bit about what you got going on here, please.
Well, it's 20 acres of nature's paradise, virgin forest. The driveway you just came up on, the road, didn't exist when we bought the property. So we've been here now 13 years. And the gardens, they feed us, but we welcome the technology that life has to offer because it gives us things like tarps.
Tarps, yes.
And solar panels.
Yeah, tarps and solar panels are great.
Yeah,
now,
well, compared to what the pioneers and the early people had, that's high technology.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
Good stuff. So
yeah.
We're thankful to stay dry and just learning how to live with nature on her terms.
You'd have been using pele grass for the roof or something at one time if it wasn't for tarps, right?
Yep.
You said this was Bhakti farm?
Bhakti.
Bhakti.
A Sanskrit word.
For
devotion. Just the notion of living a devotional life in harmony with nature.
Very cool. I see right there behind you, you got papayas hanging out right over there. So we got food popping out and flowers popping out everywhere around here. Ginger and heliconias and mostly your flowers?
Over 80 varieties of heliconias.
Wow.
And between all the other zingibers, which is gingers and calatheas and cannas and costas and a whole bunch more, another 100 varieties.
And how about the bananas?
Over 60 varieties of bananas and 30-some different varieties of fruit trees.
Now, I know for sure that some of my viewers on YouTube will faint when they find out you got 60 varieties of bananas over here. You got me interested in some of the native Hawaiian ones that I'm just going to have to procure from you one of these days. And some bananas, like for instance the berry banana, that was the first time I ever tasted a banana like raspberries.
That's probably the most powerful tasting, full flavored banana I know of.
Oh, absolutely. I was belching raspberry for 2 hours afterwards.
And we'll see some of the Hawaiian varieties as we walk around. No, that's called praying hands. The hands actually are fused together. It's also called the Buddha banana. You'll see a close-up of that.
Oh, with the clusters of fruit are fused.
Right.
Yeah.
And behind you, this flower, red flower, is a banana flower. Ornamental banana called Musa
That's pretty.
Yeah, it is pretty.
Now, I'd have said it was a heliconia. See how much I know.
It looks like them. They're first cousins.
Well, they're related, yeah.
A great story about heliconias and bananas is I read in a book that in the 1500s, a British sailing ship cruising along the coast of South America, and a scientist on board in his science log recorded heliconias as being banana plants with flowers. They had never seen them before. It's a Western Hemisphere plant. So Asia and Europe were introduced to heliconias in the West.
Oh. Wow. You say that one again. You said that the income you're making from selling the bananas, the ginger, and the heliconia at the market is to do what?
Support our family of 70 plus cats. And the second part of the income is to support our lifestyle. Because we're on Social Security and very little income. We spent more money bringing in mulch and cinder than we paid for the property. Oh, there's no dirt.
Well, yeah, I imagine like a lot of Kapua farm lot land, this is pretty hard underneath, isn't it?
The whole flat flank of the island is that way.
Almost,
you know.
Yeah, I do, but I mean it varies between Pahoehoe and some of this in here is actually blue basalt even.
Yeah, we plant in deep soil because we bring in the materials to create the deep soil in the pukas.
Well, you basically have to do bananas anyway. They're not going to grow well in them.
That's why it's so lush.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
Well, let's see what you got. Show me, tell me.
Okay, well, there's one Hawaiian banana. We'll get up close to it. That's called popo'ulu. Looks like a stubby cucumber.
Yeah, I see that. That's cool.
Okay, let me give you a recap of what's happening here and what has happened here. There are 2.5 acres roughly under cultivation. Cultivation halfway, because we have to create the paths, clear the areas, plant whatever, and make it compatible with the native forest. Because we don't take trees out, we just plant amongst the forest. But the 2 storms we had last year devastated us. During the Hurricane Isel, over 30 trees went down. 3 months later, during the severe south windstorm, there 40-some trees went down. And there are parts of the property that we still haven't gotten access to for a year because we can't keep up with cutting up the trees and carrying them out and maintaining our basic, daily chores. This is a 7-day-a-week undertaking. I bring it in by the truckload to give you an idea of how much mulch we brought in. This is the free mulch from the recycling down in Hilo. My first round of learning to use mulch was back 10 years ago And I have a Chevy van way down yonder. I call it the Mulchmobile. I hauled over 600 loads of mulch, hand loading and unloading in that van, 4 cubic yards a load. Then during a recession, not a recession, actually a construction boom, you may remember that.
Well, I remember that, yeah.
The mulch was in such high demand by land developers and landscapers, I couldn't get enough.
Oh, wow.
So I started hiring the big trucks. 167 30 cubic yard trucks we've hauled in here.
167 30 cubic yard. And that's mostly been used for what? Growing in the ground on site and for making the container soils too?
90+% on site, building the soil base to grow the trees.
Wow.
That's the food. Give them a good home.
Yeah, they
You know,
like
love the
mulch.
plants with good food and nutrient and their growing conditions, and they'll love us back.
Well, okay, so now you got stuff around here in pots. I see you every week over at the Maku'u market and stuff, you know, selling this stuff. What are you using in the containers?
Combination of cinder, mother's dirt around the base of plants that we subdivide, and mulch. And some plants need a lot of drainage. They get more cinder. Bananas and some of the fruit trees that like a lot of water, the mulch holds the water. So during a dry period of 2, 3, 4 weeks, which inevitably we get, they hold more water.
So,
And potted plants can't survive through the drought. They've got to be constantly maintained with water. So the mulch helps give them a better,
hold in the moisture.
yep.
So you get a little bit different mixes depending on what it is that you're putting in the pots. But by and large, everything you're using here is basically junk the island's made out of. The cinders the island's made out of, the soil that you do get from the breakdown around the plants, and that mulch.
It's all from what's here. Got to move it around a little bit, and that's where I look at what I do is I support Mother Nature's magic by being the grunt that moves the stuff.
You're the gopher.
Because I don't take any credit for anything that's growing or what things look like here. It's all nature's magic. I'm just the grunt. You just give Mother Nature what she's asking for.
it.
And different from business, you know, my 40 years of type A business was to develop plans and create entities. And here, it's simply listen and pay attention to what nature's doing and try to emulate what she wants.
Wow, that's great.
It's really simple. With that mindset and heart set, it all works.
Well, show me more, please.
Show you more.
Show me more. I want to see what you got. I've never been in your place.
Yeah, I know. We've talked many times.
Oh, so many times. Many times.
We'll also get up to the buffet on this trip.
That sounds like a good plan.
Do what on the trip?
Buffet.
Oh, buffet.
Food is good.
Oh, yeah.
As you can see from looking at my belt line, food is good.
So this is where plants go that are destined for selection to go to market.
Oh, cool. So this
Then
is some of your banana selection,
Yeah,
huh?
some of the bananas, you'll find different. Every place on the property is a combination of gardens in the ground and holding areas for other plants as we find what environments they like, how much shade, what are companion
So
plants.
yeah, I see no shade lath or cloth over the top. You're basically using the forest itself as your propagation facility here.
Well, that became the whole philosophy for growing food, is not to try to grow mainland vegetables that we're used to, but what do people eat in the rainforest? And that's old technology. You know, Asia and South America and Africa have been doing that for thousands of years. Now, when we moved here, and my wife, who had lived in Hawaii for 20-some years, said that, you know, the rainforest will provide a big challenge. There's too much rain to grow regular kinds of plants that we know of. So I went to the library and researched for a couple of months and found already on this island were hundreds of plants that are rainforest plants that people have brought from their different cultures when they came to work on the plantations and the sugarcane fields. It's all here.
Yep.
So these are maybe about 20 different varieties of the 60 that you have?
Yeah, that's probably pretty close. I mean, there are multiples of all of these, and there are other areas that I have them, but these are the ones that are looking cute enough to take to market.
Well, this is how I first met Marvin. Wandering through the Maku'u market down there near Paho one day, I banged into this guy who had all these bananas in bags, and then he had samples of bananas out too to show off the stock of things I had never heard of at all. You got more bananas here than I even had any idea existed. I have people who watch the channel as far away as the Ukraine who are crazy about growing bananas even in greenhouses and stuff. I know the other day I had a guy from the Ukraine ask me about how do you pronounce it?
I.
I.
That's
Yeah.
one of 3 Hawaiian names.
Yeah, yeah. And he's dying to get his hands on it. I said, nah. I talked to Marvin about that one. He won't let it go. It doesn't propagate well. Is that the one I'm thinking
It's
of?
a weak plant.
Weak
It just
plant.
genetically doesn't have strength to adapt well. And
That's the variegated banana.
one of one of 2. It's a green and white one. There's
Yeah.
also the green and purple one. It's called Zebrina.
How's that one do?
Fabulous.
Zebrina, I've heard of. Yeah, okay.
Well, you'll see it up here.
Oh,
shortly.
cool. Well, let's look.
And there are a few down there in bags.
Oh, I see them. Yeah, with the red blood stripes in the leaf.
Right.
Yeah,
Now,
okay.
there are some bananas that give young blood stripes when they're young, like right down there at the base.
And then
next
it
to the bucket.
vanishes as they get older.
Right. Yeah. By the time they're teenage, which I'm looking at as being 3-4 feet high, they start to lose them. But the Zebrina keeps it, and the bottom of the leaf is burgundy. It's a deep burgundy color. So you'll see a little of everything everywhere. Most of the food plants come from different parts of the world, whether it's Asia, Africa. I tend to think that South America has some of the best of all of the fruit in the world.
Well, am I looking at lychee over there, right?
That's like correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I have probably about 20 grafted lychee trees left for sale. There's the praying hands.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's so cool.
Oh yeah, they're all fused together.
Oh, that is neat.
I thought this was going to be a dwarf, and in banana language, dwarf is 7 to 10 feet. This is not a dwarf. This is a tall banana. It's it's probably 4 years in the ground here. By year 2, it's reached its maximum or optimal, and
Well,
this is definitely 15 feet.
Yeah, at least.
That's the
15 or
threshold of
20
tall.
maybe.
Wow. Ooh.
This is
Ooh.
called pink velvet. The botanical name is Musa velutina.
Awesome.
Pink velvet.
And the
wow.
fruit actually grows upright. It's a fuzzy pink. That's about a full size plant and fruit. And then the fruit self peels.
Blows open, yeah.
And they have seeds.
Oh, yeah, okay. I've seen like a black hard seed on the inside of
But
this stuff.
these are small seeds, more like poppy seeds.
Oh, really? So then actually you could chew them, huh?
You could chew them. I even chew the big ones. I just swallow them.
It's okay if I bust off a piece?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's a mellow, favorable to an extent tasting the banana.
Oh,
Go ahead and
yeah.
eat it.
Yeah, it's edible. The seed is definitely chewy. We're probably getting some omega fatty acids or other good protein things and so on from the seed.
Well, right. Throw that into a smoothie and you got protein.
There you go.
And back before I moved here, my full-time move was 2001. I grew up with Chiquita. I thought that was the banana. And then one day in a grocery store in Beverly Hills, I saw a red cooking banana display. First time I knew there was another banana.
So yeah, that's interesting. Tell me more about how the heck did you get into bananas beyond? So you started with Chiquita, like the rest of us. It's all red cooking banana. But now that when you're on the island over here, you were doing rainforest crop research. Is that where it came from? Or
No, it came from before that. One of the goals of living in Hawaii was to be in the forest where we'd have enough room, space to grow, and perhaps grow all of our food. And bananas are something that grows year-round. They're easy. They're quick to develop into mature plants and fruit. So I started getting different kinds of bananas just because it seemed interesting, and it grew into a hobby. Now the hobby part gone passe, but I have a great respect and love of bananas because they do provide food
the native
year-round.
population.
And from what I've researched, it is the most plentiful fruit in the world. And it also is the most widely eaten starch, more than potatoes, more than corn, indigenous cultures.
well, it's very adaptable and easy, and harvesting and processing. Obviously, there's a lot of reasons, but even in the United States, though, they say that the banana is the #1 fruit,
Yeah.
not the apple or the
Right.
strawberry or the cantaloupe. It's the banana,
Yeah.
which is a little weird because there's only a tiny little bit of place within this country where we can actually grow them. They grow fine here.
And
You
along
know.
the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, and I mean, I have a few in California. There's a few spots in California where it does grow, but you really have to be in Hawaii before you're going to find a place in the U.S. where it can be done commercially, on a scale.
Yeah, I think Hawaii is the only state that has a commercial industry.
Yeah.
Uh,